Hello, so nice that you're here today. Welcome to Lola's Mindset Reset, your podcast for your soul and personal growth. My name is Loreen, aka Lola, and my vision is to have a positive impact on many people's lives. Thank you for spending time together. And today we are going to talk about a topic that concerns many peeps out there, and it is about relationships and the reasons why many of us are choosing the same kind of partners over and over again. And maybe you know it as well, or you even discovered a certain pattern in your relationships that you might, choose all the time the same type of partners, or that all of them do have some core characteristics in common and you don't like it because so far it didn't feel good or it didn't work. And it can be that you repeatedly chose someone that's not sharing your values, or someone that's not honest with you, or cheating, or even a toxic person. And it's very important to look at it because our relationships influence our lives and our happiness on various levels, and they are also deeply anchored in our brain and in our evolutionary biology. It means we are dependent on relationships because our survival has depended on relationships for millions of years, and we are social beings. And that's exactly why relationships are still one of the most important things in our lives. But since we are very adaptive, and adaptation is a process that runs subconsciously and automatically, toxic relationships can have a very negative impact on our lives. And that's why it is crucial and important for me to talk to you today about relationships and choosing a partner. And I hope I can give you some helpful tips to make some better decisions in the future and to understand where your partner choices are coming from. And as you know, I'm mostly sharing my own experiences or dynamics I see or saw in my family or in my close circle of people, and what I've learned from them. And what I'm sharing are just examples. Of course, there are many different kind of persons, different kind of dynamics in relationships, and I cannot mention and analyze everything here. And that's why here it's particularly about a relationship pattern in which you always have partners you need to pull and push, and you feel like you're in charge of basically everything, and you're trying to help them and lift them up, and you're trying to make things work that clearly doesn't work, Anyway, the tools and tips I'm sharing are applicable to any kind of person and relationship pattern, because it's about how to find out the reason of your personal pattern and to heal. So let's start with my example I mentioned and with my personal relationship pattern. So some years ago, I've been in a very unhappy relationship, and it's not that I was treated badly, it was just unhappy because it wasn't fitting, and I did mistakes as well, and I learned a lot after the breakup, and I was thinking that maybe it could help you, and it's possible that you are or were in a similar situation. And I know a lot of women actually who have or had the same pattern of choosing her partners and the exact same problems like me and the exact same problems in all of their relationships. So, it's a clear repetitive pattern, and maybe you have the same. So in this relationship I'm talking about, it was clear from the beginning that it wasn't fitting because of different lifestyles, different values, different attitude, different mindset, future plans and wishes, different expectations of life in general, and many other things. But, still I was trying to force it somehow to make it work. And I knew it, that it didn't fit, I could feel it. Maybe you also know it. Your gut feeling tells you very quietly, but kind of clear, that there is something missing, and maybe it's not the best idea to go into this relationship, but we want to believe that it could work, that we can convince him or her, and that we can change their lives or change their mind or their attitude somehow to make it fit. And we want to be loved so desperately, and this shows as well how crazy it is, how much we depend on being loved, on receiving and giving love, that we basically ignore our little voice inside us, and we ignore the red flags that we already saw, and we know that it's not what we actually want, but we still enter into the relationship. And it happened to me as well, as I'm saying. And usually from the beginning that it won't work in the long run, and that very important fundamental things are missing. But still, I wanted to make it work, and I was trying to force it, and I was trying to convince my partner of my values or attitude. And up to a certain point you can influence your partner positively, and it's fine. And I don't say that this is something bad, because in a healthy relationship you should also try to challenge each other to become the best version of yourselves, right? And it's something good to have a positive influence, but only as long as it's not forced, and only as long as your partner really wants it, and it took me a lot of time to realize it and to see the pattern of my relationship. And when we broke up, I took a lot of time for myself, and I tried to analyze my relationship pattern, because I started to ask myself, why is it somehow always the same thing? Why do I always have partners that are clearly not fitting, and in many different areas, not at my level? And with my level, it's not meant like to evaluate or judge something. As I mean, like, people can be at different time points of their lives or on different levels regarding job, education, professional life, personal values, matureness, and so on. And it's totally fine. But what I mean is, it's just about to choose a partner that's fitting for you and that's fitting your values and your level that you are in your life areas. It was always the same pattern. I chose partners that were not on my level professionally regarding their maturity, emotional accessibility as well, or financially, or values were not fitting, attitude super different, and of course in the long run, obviously it doesn't work. And I'm not saying that everything needs to be perfectly identical or perfectly fitting, but there are some core values that are very individual but crucial. And difference can be very exciting. You can learn from each other and try new things, but it depends on where exactly are the differences, and if they are compatible with your core values that are not negotiable. And the thing is that I observed the same pattern on many more women, especially in my family and inner circle. And I was thinking, okay, either there are no men available who could fit and are equal to you regarding your values, your finances, your job, education, attitude, future wishes, etc., or we all have kind of the same problem. And because we clearly choose partners who are in many areas not the ones we are wishing for and looking for, but we still choose them. And why? I also observed like behavior that I didn't want to have. I didn't want to need to change someone to make things fit, and I didn't want to force a relationship to work. I wanted to share values and attitude and not to convince someone of mine. So just to explain a bit the dynamics, and I didn't want all this, and everyone I'm asking who has the same pattern that I had tells me the same. I don't want this. And this is what I mean with I'm I was doing mistakes and I had problems in giving away the control, and I was repeatedly choosing partners that were not on my wavelength and level. As I said, it's nothing negative. It's just different expectations, let's say, and standards regarding life and education, behavior, and ambition and stuff. And that didn't fit for me and the life I was trying to create. And so I always had partners that had problems in life, or financial problems, no professional career, no studies, no job, no ambitions, no dreams, no positive attitude. And I wanted to change something for them. I wanted to help, to guide, to show how to do it better, to establish a better life. And I think I wanted to feel needed somehow. I wanted someone that let me take over the control as well and lead the relationship. And that's why I was choosing people that were on a different level in life, because maybe someone on the same level wouldn't allow me to take over the control or to decide or to lead them somehow. And still I was constantly frustrated because of course I wanted someone equal, that I knew that I deserve someone that also gives me energy and not only takes it, someone with whom I can relax because I know that things are working and I don't need to involve myself in everything in their lives. Someone who gives me the feeling that I can let go and I can give away the control. And it is also a kind of helper syndrome, which is an extreme form in a relationship that can develop into a mother-child dynamic somehow, so that you treat your partner like your own child and in the end see your partner no longer as an adult, or treat your partner no longer as an adult, equal partner, because you're kind of trapped in this mother-child dynamic where you do almost everything for them and you control everything, you're trying to decide everything, and you lose respect after a while because, partners that are open to be in this kind of dynamic are letting you do these things, and, they somehow rest on you, on your back, and let you do everything because it's comfortable for them. On the one hand, it's comfortable, and on the other hand, they don't share the same ambitions and anyway wouldn't do it by themselves the way you think it should be done. And this is already pathological and a toxic mixture because it's a dynamic, as the word says. The person in the mother role is doing its part by treating their partner as a child, taking over control, decisions, planning, everything. And it happens to many people, especially women, with their male and female partners. And it doesn't mean, that someone here is a bad person. Actually, it's the opposite. It's wonderful if you're someone that loves to help others, that is caring and sharing and trying to establish a better life for your partner. And on the other side, we have a partner who enjoys being looked after, who needs to be pushed, and who also admires the other's ambitions and is also fine, Every person I know who has this kind of problems is a wonderful, empathetic, and lovely person that gives and needs so much love, security, understanding, and support. So you don't need to feel guilty or anything else, These are wonderful properties. You just have to use them in the right measure. And it shouldn't be the reason why you're in a relationship, The reason should be love, trust, shared values and future plans and dreams, shared interests, attitude, and feeling of understanding and security even in conflict situations, like matureness and constructive and respectful communication, and of course even more. And it's not your business to save others. It's not your business to save other people's lives, and you need to draw a line, to set boundaries there, and be careful and conscious in order to realize when it's enough and when it's too much. And, on the other side, the other party should shouldn't be in a relationship just to get pulled upwards and to chill on the other's back and to get rid of the responsibility because your partner is taking care of it anyways, and it's the easy way to improve your life instead of establishing some more discipline and work hard. So none of the behaviors is healthy and fair towards the other person. And that's why it is a relationship pattern that you should work on. Because in a healthy relationship, you need to accept your partner as an individual adult human being, which with its own wishes, dreams, plans, attitude, values, as well as wounds and traumas and inner construction sites. And you shouldn't need to force it in order to work. You should be able to be yourself and let your partner be her or himself without the need to change them in order to make the relationship work. So it's not only unfair to choose a partner to change him or her and forcing the relationship to work, it is also none of your business to change or lead or improve the life of your partner. It's your partner's choice how to live, where to live, what kind of education or job he or she is choosing, and so on. And it is your business to take care of your life, your health, your happiness, your future, your job, and it's your business to choose a partner that fits regarding core beliefs and values. And I guess you don't want your partner to decide this for you just because he or she thinks she or he knows it better, right? You know what's good for you and right for you. Your partner knows what's good for him or her and right for him or her. And if it's not fitting and against your values and attitude, and there's no possible compromise, let it go. Stop forcing it. It's neither good for you nor for your partner. Just let it go and move on. And really, I really needed time and several similar relationships to get to the point. And of course, there are other kind of patterns. For example, if you are always falling for narcissistic persons, or if you always have partners that are cheating on you, or they are liars, and relationship patterns that are not easy to break, because the unknown and leaving the comfort zone can be scary, and self-love plays an important role as well. And now it's about why. The big fat why. Why, in my example, did I subconsciously think I needed someone that is on a different level, that needs help? Why did I try to make things work that are clearly not working? Why are you falling for one narcissist after the other? Or why are you always having partners who cheat on you, or that are not reliable or emotionally accessible, for example? So a lot of whys. And when it comes to the reasons, my lovely friends, there are two things that play the main role in choosing our partners. And it's what we find attractive, so characteristics that can be similarities or differences. So things that we also find in ourselves as similarities, for example, or things we wish we could do or we could be. And in my case, in my example, it was usually the adventurer that doesn't think too much and lives from day to day and doesn't worry too much, and it's just a free soul, which is interesting, no question. But it often comes with a life that is not as stable and well managed, let's say, and the professional career is in many cases, a bit chaotic, let's say. And the most important factor, surprise, surprise, we are coming back to our core beliefs about ourselves. Because like everything else, it starts inside yourself. It starts with your beliefs about yourself. So if you don't love and respect yourself and your self-esteem is low, you may choose partners who confirm your own negative beliefs about yourself. And you may believe that you don't deserve better. And that's not true. It's a big fat lie of your brain to make you stay in your comfort zone and make you keep choosing the partners you're familiar with. Because your brain believes that this is what it knows, this is how you survived so far, so it's safe. And that's why it's so crucial, if you want to change something, to check your beliefs about yourself first, and how is your self-esteem, how it's about your self-esteem. So check what do you think about yourself first, and write down your I ams, so your beliefs about you as a person, and what do you believe you deserve regarding relationships, and what are the things you expect to happen to you. And many things that are happening subconsciously, and our choices and how our reality is, are coming from what we think about ourselves, and especially when it comes to our relationships, because it's connected with what we think is safe for us, what feels familiar to us, and what we think we deserve. And it's also connected to the law of attraction, where you automatically attract what you think you deserve. So check what are your beliefs, and if they are more negative or more positive, and if they actually match your wishes that you have, your wishes regarding your relationships or partners. And if you're not in a relationship, or even if you are in a relationship, you can analyze your current relationship if you want, and look if it's fitting for you, if you're happy, and if it's actually having the potential to last. And you can ask yourself some interesting questions that can help you to reflect a bit and to find out beliefs. And you could ask yourself if you think you could be in a typical relationship of your pattern. It could be, who am I? Write down I am, and then end the sentence. I am enough, or I am whatever. I deserve this and that. And in my case, a question would be, why do you need to choose a partner that has no fitting values to feel needed and worthy? Do you think you don't deserve a partner that has the same attitude and expectations? Or are you scared to not be enough for another type of person? And why do you think so? And is it true? Isn't it time to not only wish the things to be different, but to take action? And take some time to write down what type of persons have you been in relationships, if you want to analyze a bit, and what are the reasons why you chose them. Why did you like your past partner? What did you like exactly about them? Try to find out what kind of trauma, wishes, needs, I ams, or beliefs could stand behind it as a reason, and how was the relationship going? Or if it's a current relationship, how is it going? Is it good for you? Was it good for me? Am I, or was I, my true self? Do I have or had my own life, friends, and hobbies as well? And if yes, or if the relationship ended, why did the relationship end? What kind of severe, difficult situations did we have? And how did I feel? How did I react? How was the communication from both sides? It helps a lot if you identify the type of person you were together with in the past and the reasons why you chose this partner. And it makes you aware of what you can still heal inside of you and what needs to be healed in order to take healthy choices. And then you identify what kind of relationship do you need and want, and ask yourself if your relationship is really fitting. And what are your values? What matters most to you? What are your plans and future wishes? What are you willing to give up? And are you willing to make compromises, and where? And what are your standards and why? And what is not negotiable? And analyzing the why, the reason of a standard you have, is important because you can identify if the standard or expectation is coming from love and trust or from fear or distrust. An example would be, one of my standards is that he or she speaks to me in a calm, respectful way, even in conflict situations. And this would be a standard which is coming from love, because I love myself and I know that I deserve respectful and constructive communication, and I will not accept anything else, period. And another example, a standard that would come from fear or distrust, could be, I'm expecting that he or she is not talking to another woman or man or whatever. This would come from fear, because if it implies that you are not trusting him or her and you feel the need of controlling, and it's hard to accept that you cannot control your partner, so you're not thinking about yourself, that you're enough, and you're convinced that your partner would cheat on you. So you know what I mean. So check your standards carefully and ask yourself the why questions, because it shows you where you're having some construction work to do and where you still need to heal something, and which of your standards are coming from love and which ones are coming from fear. And if your partner, doesn't have the same attitude towards life, towards health, mindset, soul set, relationship, and if he or she would lead a life far beyond your standards, if you wouldn't be together, it's just a waste of time and energy. If your partner, before coming together, led a life with a lifestyle that is not fitting your values, don't do it. As well as you deserve to feel accepted and respected and loved the way you are, your partner wishes and deserves it as well. You should check before going into a relationship if you're sharing the main and most important values, future plans, attitude, wishes for a relationship, in order to lead a harmonious, healthy, and happy relationship where each of you has its own life and goals, and as well as you're having a life together with a shared journey, and you can rely on each other and let the other person leads its life, and you're creating a stable foundation of your life and relationship. Because if you are trying to change your partner and convince him or her that your way of thinking is the right one, and all this is only working if you're investing all your energy to change, control, and lead your and his or her life, it's not the right thing. And anyway, it's not sustainable and real if someone is doing the things you want her or him to do because you want it and not because they want it. And they wouldn't do it anyway. And if it's the case that you feel like you need to force everything, then ask yourself, is this what I really want for my life? A partner that is just doing the things because I want him or her to do it? For example, how does it feel if your partner is asking you if you want to marry him or her, and you know that he or she is just doing it because you want it? Wouldn't it be just, wonderful if you had someone that shares your values, your attitude, and your soul set, that understands you and wants the same? And, aren't you fed up with being frustrated and feeling like his or her mom and feeling bad about it? Wouldn't you like to think, yes, baby, exactly, you got the point, when she or he is saying something? Someone you admire, someone that inspires you, someone that you can learn something from. And just sit down and ask yourself questions, good questions. And once answered all the questions that I mentioned before, what was actually my game changer was like that I went deeper. I started to ask myself, where do the negative beliefs are coming from? When I realized that I have beliefs that lead to choosing the partners that I chose, and when I started to ask myself, when did I start to believe bullshit about myself or relationship, I found a situation in my past that I needed to heal, and I was looking for it quite a while. if there is anything in my past that I need to heal in order to be ready to make healthy decisions regarding my relationships. And of course, there are many different origins you can have. It can be something connected to your childhood or parents that you still carry around, something, and you're looking for a partner in the outside that gives you what you were missing in your childhood. It can be your first relationship or other reasons. It's very complex. I just realized for me that my relationship decisions came from a place of fear, because I got hurt in my very first relationship, and I did the first one, I think the first one at a young age is like really important for all of your future relationships. And in my case, it was like I got hurt, and my partner back then was like meeting other people and also girl, and I was excluded and I felt compared, and in the end I was left, so I felt exchanged, and it did a lot to me. Of course, it was a part of my healing journey to work with these feelings, to forgive and to transform my beliefs that came from there. And it was also part of my healing journey to see how young we were, and that for me as a 16-year-old girl, it was tremendously dramatic. But today as an adult, I know that we were young and teenagers, and that's totally normal, that your first love is not as serious, and that we move on and we make new experiences and stuff. So it's no one's fault or something, but the result was, for the rest of my love life, that I started to believe that I am not good enough on every level, and that I'm compared, that I'm excluded and exchanged, and that men are not reliable, and they're gonna exchange you if they find someone better. And I started to believe that it's safer for me to choose a partner that is not on my level, to reduce the risk of being exchanged and left behind, because in comparison, I would be always over the top of what they usually have as partners. I really don't mean it in an arrogant way or something, but I just identified the reason why I chose partners who were on a lower stage on many areas of life, because it was the safest thing for me. Because subconsciously I believed that I'm having a partner that admires me, and in comparison with others there would be no one better for them, and they could never exchange or leave me. And I realized that was the key. This was what I needed to heal in order to attract and choose a healthy and fitting partner for me. I needed to work on my beliefs about myself and my opinion about men, and transform them and heal. And since I was very young and it was my first experience, I decided to do a reparenting technique that usually works for me best, and whatever it is for you. So any situation you can identify that caused you to start believing negative things about yourself or relationships, you can use the same technique. So when you, for example, got betrayed, or you've been through a tough relationship with a narcissist, no matter what it was that made you question your worth, or that made you believe you cannot trust. You might think that you cannot trust men or women because you're going to be betrayed, or you think that you need someone that controls or leads you, or you need a narcissistic person in your life because you believe that you're not able to lead your life independently, and you don't know how to manage everything. Whatever it is, you can do reparenting technique to heal. Of course, it works best in combination with other techniques and therapy. I'm repeating, I'm not a doctor. If you have any issues, please seek professional help. But for sure, like in my self-therapy as well, I use the reparenting or inner child work, and I did it as well together with my therapist. And it's a really cool tool, and it's not gonna be done by doing things once. You need to keep going, repeatedly reflecting and implementing new beliefs and standards, and it's a huge piece of work, but it's gonna help, and it's worth it for a happy and healthy future. And anyway, so regarding reparenting or inner child work, I think I mentioned it already in other episodes, so I'm traveling in my mind as my older, wiser, and adult self to my younger self, to talk to her, to hold her, to give her the security and love that she needed back then, and to go through all the feelings and pain again, to support my younger self, and in the end to change the beliefs. And the thing you need to know is, no matter what happened in your past, it has nothing to do with yourself or your worth, especially when it was at a young age. You know today that you were both very young with no clue about how to lead serious relationships, and there was no understanding for each other's feelings. There were no or very little communication skills, maybe not even awareness or understanding for yourself, and you had basically no knowledge about complex psychological processes going on inside yourself and the other one. So that's why you can also try to forgive your ex-partner or your parents and yourself as well for not knowing it better yet, and in my case, seeing that you are both young and you know that you are enough on every level because you're special and you're not comparable, and your partner that loves you and truly cares is not gonna compare you or excluding you, or he or she is not gonna exchange you, and that even if he or she does it, it has nothing to do with yourself or your worth, and that you're able to stand up again even if someone hurts you. And it is okay to go through old pain again. And I used the technique to go through my pain and visualize my new beliefs and standards. And what I did, I wrote a letter to myself in my beautiful Zero Worry book that I use for journaling or for writing down things that I'm thankful for every morning, but as well for letters to myself, which is a part of journaling. And I wrote the following things, and maybe they help you as well. You know that you are able to heal and to take good decisions, and you're strong enough. You know that you can overcome everything and stand up again and again. You are allowed to let go all traumas that doesn't belong to you anymore. You know that you're adult now and that you can lead a different kind of relationship. A relationship where trust, respect, and communication is important to both partners, where you can talk about everything because you're not teenagers anymore. You are able to talk about everything and understand and support each other, where feelings and boundaries are valued and respected, and where your wishes and opinion are important and seen. You can get used to a new normal. It is not normal not to trust. It is not normal to be lied at. It is not normal that your feelings and your boundaries are being ignored. It is not normal that you are not understood. It can be your new normal that you can trust in your partner and in yourself. You can strengthen your inner self as your safe space where you can find love and security. It is normal that your partner is honest to you, that your boundaries are being accepted and respected, that your feelings are right and important, that you are understood, that you are loved, that you are special because you're unique and worthy. And you let your pain come, and you can imagine your pain as a burning flame, and it's your old pain, and you let it burn down, and the red is becoming yellowish, and it turns into a bright shining golden ball of power. And suddenly you see that all of your old wounds, they don't have to do anything with you, but with the people that didn't care about your feelings. And suddenly you see that not you are the problem, but the people who hurt you. And that you deserve to have a new normal that can be your new standard from now on, that you can choose again. You can choose your new normal and define your standards, and you don't let them be defined by other people or experiences, and you understand that everything is connected, and you attract what you are. And you stop defining your worth through experiences with other people, you know that you're worthy and special and you deserve your new normal. You can see that you can forgive people that hurt you because they were young, because they didn't know it better, because they are themselves hurt and suffering, because they had no one that teach them what is love, because they're traumatized. And you see you can let go through forgiveness and you can be free because you don't relate the things to you personally. And you know that's because of the other person and that you're not gonna accept less than your new normal. And you're taking back your power because you know if you are hurt, you can take new decisions, you can heal, you can forgive, you can connect yourself with the power of new opportunities and with new decisions. And you can separate from people who hurt you, who are not fitting your new standards, and you can make space for someone who really cares and who's fitting. You are always loved and secure. It is normal that responsibilities are shared and that you're sharing core values. You can rely on you and your gut feeling and you know what's to do. Just because one friend disappointed you, you don't distrust all of your other friends, right? Just because one partner hurt you doesn't mean that all of them are not trustworthy. Because with general mistrust, you also deprive other people in your life of the opportunity to prove themselves as trustworthy. Isn't that unfair? End of my little book that I wrote. So I hope this helps you to reflect a bit and see if something sounds reasonable for you and if you might have the same or similar problem behind your partner choosing patterns. So try to go into analysis to find out what stands behind your partner choices, try to heal past experiences, and to transform your beliefs about yourself, about men or women, about relationships, and about what you deserve. And then some simple things you can apply when you get to know someone that I wanted to share with you. So some rules you can write down as your partner choosing rules for the future. So don't do what you always did that didn't work. If you like someone, be careful because we are unconsciously looking for the same type of person. And remember that the characteristics are attractive to us that mirror ourselves and what we like, or they are the exact opposite of what we are, and we find it interesting, of course, because we wish we could be like them or we could do what they do. And it's easier to observe first and identify red flags in order to avoid choosing the wrong partner again and to stop it before you get emotionally involved. You could intentionally look, for example, for someone that is usually not your type and check if there is something happening and why. Is there attraction or maybe no attraction, and why? Is he or she too similar or too different? And what is important for you? Go into checking and observing positions instead of flying into it just because it's exciting. Try to control your emotions a bit. And don't come together too fast. Check for red flags and take your time to get to know each other and to open up in order to ask questions, to have deep conversations, to talk about values, boundaries, things that matter for you, future wishes and plans and expectations of a relationship. And yeah, obviously it's normal as well that in a partnership it will be necessary to find compromises, but not if it means constantly crossing or ignoring your boundaries, not if it means there is no or not constructive, respectful communication, not if you need to accept behavior or you are forced or expected to behave against your values, not if you need to explain repeatedly your values, your boundaries, and you don't feel understood, and not if you feel like you need to give up your own life, wishes, hobbies, needs, friends, and so on, just to keep the relationship alive. And not if there is only one-sided work and interest. And I would like you to know you are a queen or you are a king. We are queens and kings. And you don't need to lower your standards and expectations because you think that you cannot find someone that fits. Don't give up your hope and stop thinking that it's not possible to find a partner that fits for you and treats you right. People who don't believe in magic will never find it. And try to stop Tindering or app searching. Just focus on yourself, go out and make new experiences and try new things, and the things will fall into place because you can trust the universe. And it's possible to find someone that understands you, with whom it's possible to lead a healthy, happy relationship with shared value, future plans, and ideas. But if you didn't experience it yet, it's maybe because you did the same mistakes over and over again, and you chose always the same type of person, and there is something that you can heal inside of you. And more important than finding the right person is to start to become the right person. That is loving, that is empathetic, that is sharing, open-minded, and forgiving and healing. And it doesn't mean that you need 100% perfect and healed and the best version of yourself to allow yourself to find a partner or to be loved. This is a journey that takes a lifetime, and you always deserve to be loved, and you're always loved. And of course, you can get support from your partner on your journey, and it's wonderful if you're able to grow together. And I just want to say, stop looking always on the outside for a supposedly perfect person and start to focus on your inner self to see where you can heal, so that you can attract a partner into your life with whom you can establish a healthy relationship that is not based on trauma or fear, but on love, security, and understanding. Okay, peeps. So let's sum up the things. So if you observe, or if you discovered now that you're having a relationship pattern that leads to choosing the same partners over and over again, I would recommend you to recap the past relationships and analyze them. Ask yourself some questions, check on your beliefs about yourself and about relationships, and start to heal past traumas and experiences that made you implement negative beliefs about yourself and relationships, and try out reparenting and, a self-journey with the adult version of yourself that is able to give your younger self what it would have needed. And identify your dream relationship, your dream partner, and your most important needs and values that are not negotiable, and check your standards and see if you need to set new ones. And don't do what you always did. Don't go too fast into a new relationship. Believe in your dream relationship and don't stop to work on yourself. And of course, most importantly, never give up. Stay positive. My lovely peeps, thank you so much for being here with me and for spending time together. I hope it was inspiring for you and it will help you a bit to work on relationship issues and patterns. Be patient and treat yourself lovingly. Give it time. You don't need to change everything right now. It's just about to start being more aware and to analyze and identify patterns, behaviors, and beliefs that you might have, and that your beautiful, intelligent little brain is trying to bring you on, or to make you not leave the comfortable way that is supposedly the safest option. And don't believe everything you think. And take really good care of yourself. As always, you are welcome to share your experiences with relationship patterns or your specific question or pattern that you identified. You can find me on Instagram at Lola's Mindset Reset. Please share with us which thought of this episode helped you most, and you're also welcome to send me messages with topics you're interested in, and of course I'm doing my best to answer your questions. And I'm sending you all of my love and a big hug. Stay strong and move on. Lola.